Slavery never existed. Slavery never existed. And before you attack me, listen good. Imagine if a slavery did not exist. How free would you be? I'm gonna talk about this video specifically to people, melanin people, because slavery has been pushed out so much in the past, in the present, and it's gonna keep going push on everyone in the future as well. But why? The more anybody can think, oh, my ancestor was slave, I went to slavery, this and that, you're gonna have that kind of feeling of inferiority. You're gonna have that hatred within you. You're gonna be limited on the things you can do, on the things you can accomplish, because you will be always thinking that, oh, my story started as a slave. Where I'm coming from is a slave. Where I'm coming from is full of negative things. Where I'm coming from, I was abused. I was being forced to do things. I was treated poor way. No, you have to break that limitation, and you have to see yourself past slavery. Because don't get me wrong, it is good to know where you come from. It is good to know your roots, because if you don't know your roots, you are nobody. However, do not let your roots put you in a box, put you in a limitation that you cannot do certain things because you were part of slavery. You cannot accomplish certain things because you were part of slavery. You cannot go to certain place because of slavery. You cannot become certain person because of slavery. No. And also because you think about it. Our story, my story as a melanin person, did not start with slavery. Before slavery, before the colonizers came to my land, my people already had the way of thinking, the way of behaving, the way of eating, the way of dressing, the way of doing things that really had their own gut, right? And because I took time to know my story, not the story you're gonna see on media or in the famous book or that you're gonna learn in school. No, the story that you're gonna find out by you having critical thinking and by you seeking knowledge, by you being curious about what it is that truly happened. Because guess what? The history books are written by the people who won the war. Because if you kill me, I cannot write about it anymore, right? And you gotta know story so you can have a better perspective, a better understanding, especially to us melanin people, that a lot of us are so caught up. Oh, I was a slave. Oh, my ancestors. Oh, the white people did this. Oh, the people did that. All of those mental perspectives are blocking you from your greatness, are blocking you from the things you can accomplish, are blocking you from the things you can become. Right? Imagine if I tell you right now today that you were never slave. How free you are going to act, how powerful you are going to be. That's exactly how you should get up every single morning. Because if you keep letting the past control you, you are not going to be able to be in charge of your present, and you're not going to be able to build or to create a different future. Don't get me wrong, it's good to know the past, but the past is gone. Do not let whatever happened in the past or whatever you've been through in the past block you or stop you from you doing different, from you acting different, from you being a different person. Because they're gonna push onto melanin people like, oh, no, slavery, your ancestors were dumb, your ancestors didn't do anything, your ancestors were suffering, your ancestors were crying, your ancestors went to war, right? That's the narrative. Right, that's the story, that's the perspective they push onto melanin people. But then they're not gonna push you the narrative, the perspective that our ancestor, your ancestor, my ancestor built things, created things. They were happy the way they were living. They were succeeding in the way they were living. They had the ways of doing things. They had the ways of creating or building. They were strong. They were smart. They were wise. And all that power, all that intelligence is winning you because in your DNA has information. Didn't you know that? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. DNA has information. So all the great things our ancestors had is in winning us. But it's on us to tap on the legacy our ancestors gave us. Because if you always think that where you come from It's a place of stupidity. It's a place of pain. It's a place of negativity. It's a place of lack. You are going to believe that you cannot move past that, that you cannot create wealth, that you cannot be happy, that you cannot be positive, that you cannot be successful. Why? Because you're going to be thinking psychologically like, no, if the people before me didn't do it, who am I to do it? If the people before me didn't make this amount of money, who am I to make it? If the people before me didn't travel, didn't succeed, didn't build business, didn't accomplish things, who am I? All of those things are blocking you. You have to move past slavery. And the more people keep pushing the topic about slavery, the more people are going to be blocked mentally. Because they're going to keep remembering, oh, I was a slave, my parents were slave, my auntie was slave, my uncles were slave, my grandparents were slave. You have to move past that perspective. Because even though they were slave, you are here. Oh yeah, you are the seed of your ancestors. You are the seed of your grandparents, grandmothers. Because of them or because of what they went through, you are here today. And the fact that you are here today, it means that they are winning you. Didn't you know your ancestors are never dead? No. They walk around with you. Whenever you go, you carry them with you. However you are feeling, they carry them with you. And they are winning you, giving you guidance, giving you information. But in order for you to listen to them, in order for you to be able to receive the knowledge, receive the power, you had to listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. Because a lot of you are out here, you don't listen to your body. You don't listen to your intuition. You're going to go out in life thinking that you are useless, you are powerless. Every time you doubt yourself, you are insulting your ancestors. Every time you think you are not good enough, you are worthless, you are powerless, you are insulting your ancestors. And for you to break that perspective, go back and start doing your own research. Start learning about the true story of where you are coming from. Because once you know the power from where we are coming from, there is no reason that you're gonna go out here walking as of somebody who can do nothing, who can accomplish nothing. Stop letting whatever happened in the past control you or define who you're gonna become in the future. It's good to know your roots, but do not let your roots be the reason you are limited, be the reason you are in a box. Nobody is limiting you but you. There is nothing you can accomplish. There is nothing you can do but you. Matter of fact, if you acknowledge that there are certain things that our ancestors didn't do, but that you wish they could have done, it's on you to do it. If there is something they didn't build, they didn't create, they didn't bring into this world, it's on you to create it, it's on you to build it. Our ancestor was creator. Our ancestor was extremely smart, extremely strong, full of wisdom, full of knowledge, full of things that have made this world a better place. Oh yeah. Because they press this narrative onto many people that, oh no, slavery. Why can they put the narrative that, hey, many people, since they were on this earth, they had bring positivity, they had bring knowledge, they had bring solutions, they had bring excellence, they had bring all the positive and great things you can imagine. Because our ancestors were creators. But those things you're not gonna see in the history book. They're gonna tell you what, who discovered America? Cristobal Colon, right? That's what I'm gonna tell you. But how can somebody discover a place where people were already living in? Use your sense, critical thinking, question things. The same people, the same way you know everything about the slavery people have been telling you in the movies, in the books, in school, in social media. That's exactly how you can go and you seek knowledge, you seek information, you be curious. Because I'm telling you, if you and I go to war and you win the war and you kill me, you're gonna write the books talking about how great you are because I'm dead. So if I'm dead, how can I write about me? How can I write about the things that I could have done? And also because this slavery thing is keeping a lot of melanin people feeling less feeling like they are oppressed, feeling as if somebody else is in charge of them, as if somebody else is superior than them. I'm here to tell you, melanin child, nobody is superior than you. Nobody is better than you. Nobody is more powerful than you. Do you know why? Because you are you, and that's the greatest superpower. Because melanin child, you are amazing. Melanin child, you are strong. Melanin child, you are energy. You are money. You are intelligence. You are excellence. You are nature. You are the universe. Melanin child, you can accomplish, you can create, you can build. Stop letting people put you in a box to limitate you. And I'm going to give the example I give again. If you and I go to war and you win the war, you're going to write about how great you are, right? All the books you're going to bring up is going to be about the great and amazing things. You're never going to put in a book how amazing or how great or how powerful I was, which is what the colonizers did. If you look in all the history books that in the school and that is on social media, all of those books only are, they're praising the oppressor. They're gonna show how great, how powerful, the amazing things the oppressors, the colonizers did. But why don't they show, why do they express, why do they put in the same books how powerful, how great, how amazing our ancestors were? Because let's not forget that before the colonizers get into our land, we already had our own way of thinking, our way of behaving, our way of building. We already had our own gods. We already had our way of dressing. But they came into our place and they trying to make us forget who we truly are, so they can tell us who we should be. Exactly, because that's what the oppressor is going to do to you. The oppressor is going to remove, is going to delete anything that is excellence about you. It's going to make you forget who you truly are, so you can become who the oppressor wants you to be. To all the melanin people out there, this narrative about slavery, do not let it put you in a box. Do not let you stop you. People can tell you come from slaves. Okay, even if you come from slaves, that does not define you. That does not determine if you are going to succeed or not. Because no matter where you come from, you can change your destiny, because your destiny is in your hands, not in somebody's hand. And there is no reason for you to see yourself less, for you to think that you are useless, that you are powerless, because all of those things are lies. Our ancestors were creators. Our ancestors were builders. Our ancestors rule countries. Our ancestors bring medicine, bring technology, bring solution to this earth. Don't you believe me? Do your own research. And by the way, I'm look on my videos. There is a video I'm talking about Africans, in where I mention the inventions made by people of our skin color, right? But you will not see those invention of the people of skin color being praised on social media. Why? Because it's beneficiating certain people that us melanin people think that we are dumb, that we are less, that we are powerless, that we are useless, that we can do never than only talking about slavery or thinking or behaving as slaves. I'm here to remind you, you are not a slave. You are in control. You are in charge. Get to know your roots, so you can know how far you can go, and you can know where you are going. But do not let your roots stop you or block you or limitate you, because you are the only one who can limitate you. And you are nobody's slave, because you have a brain to think for yourself. You have a brain to build for yourself. You have a brain to develop, to create anything you set your mind to. There is no limitations, unless the one you put into yourself. And if you cannot think for yourself, then somebody else is thinking for you. Because when they talk about slavery, back then slavery was physical, but nowadays slavery is becoming mental. Why? Because people are not thinking for themselves. Because people prefer to let other people be in charge of your life, be in control of other people without thinking. Because people behave without thinking, without questioning. They're going to tell you, oh, since I'm the politician, do what I'm telling you. Since I'm your pastor, do what I'm telling you. Since I'm your mother, do what I'm telling you. Since I'm your boyfriend, girlfriend, do what I'm telling you. Since I'm your professor, do what I'm telling you. If you cannot think for yourself, then you are a slave, because you have allowed somebody else to have control of your mind. Get to know your story and stop. Can we all stop just pushing this slavery narrative? Because the more we talk about slavery, melanin people are going to keep believing that the only good thing about us, or the only good thing that is about us that people should know, is that slavery was part of our story. Remember, before slavery, we were and are gods. Before the colonizers, before anybody coming to our lands to talk about us, to do things to us, we were gods. We had our way of thinking, our way of behaving, our way of eating, our way of dressing, our way of building. We already had our own cultures, our own traditions, our own way of doing things. And with our ways of doing things, we were surviving, we were living in harmony. So I'm here to remind you, melanin people, melanin person, before slavery, you were a god. After slavery, you still a god. Your story did not start with slavery, and your story did not finish with slavery. Do not put yourself in a box. Don't let the slavery limited you or block you from the things you can do, the greatness within you, because all of our ancestors are winning us. Because DNA carries information, DNA carries energy, DNA carries knowledge, DNA carries all of the things that our grandparents had accomplished, went through, is winning us. Because we are the seeds of our ancestors. We are the wildest dreams of our ancestors. So if there is something you wish your ancestors could have created, you create it. They could have done, you do it. They could have said, you do it. They could have changed, you do it. Because you are your ancestor. You are the wildest dream your ancestors have ever had. You are here because you are the seed of your ancestors. So get up every day knowing how powerful, how worthy, how unique, how special you are. And I'm going to say it again. Before, after slavery, we are and we still got. So tap into your excellence. Tap into your God power. Tap into your authentic and higher self. And stop letting those narratives about, oh, slavery, oh, melanin people are this and this. No. And do your research. Do your own research so you can find data, so you can find facts, so you can find information on how great, how powerful our ancestors are. If our ancestors were creators, technology, medicine, architecture, cars, phone, if our ancestors created all of those things, you have that intelligence within you. It's just on you to tap into that information. And I'm going to say it again. Before slavery, after slavery, we are always going to be God. Treat yourself as a God, behave as a God, and know the power that is within you. And stop letting past narratives, what the story, what philosophy, what religion, what the politician can tell you. Stop letting all of those things, because all of those things are only going to limit you and are gonna control you. And also, if somebody else is in charge of your mind, if somebody else is controlling your mind, then you are a slave for that person. Cut the change. You are not a slave. You are a God, and you will always going to be a God.